here, and this is the review for TakeOver Chicago and Backlash. So, yeah, most of my predictions were surprisingly wrong. Well, for Backlash, anyhow, I guess. We'll get to that later. Let's go with TakeOver Chicago. It's one of those things where, as always, TakeOver NXT is the better of the two. Yeah, it just, I don't know why. It just is always very good wrestling. Because you get Roderick Strong and Eric Young, who I thought would be a one-on-one match. Instead, you get Alexander Wolf and Killian Dane coming out. So Sanity came out and stayed with Eric Young during this match, which is whatever. I think that it would have been fair to have a one-on-one match, but I think the cage match really did it, I guess. And so there it is. I think that it was cool to see Roderick Strong get a win. I think that last time in NXT Orlando, Sanity got one up on the face team, so it was pretty cool to see Roderick Strong at his best at that night. I think. I keep saying that, Jesus. It was a good match. Great to see Sanity again, although they didn't wear the eye makeup this time. And then, of course, Roderick Strong is very good. Yeah, I like to see more wins from him. And then we get the match of the night, which I thought was the match of the night. United Kingdom Championship. We have Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate. Now, this match was cool. Well, it's more than cool, actually. You get a lot of close pins, you get close wins, moves that were very fucking awesome. Like, a power bomb that, no, it was a suplex. And he picks him up, Pete Dunne picks up Tyler, and just throws him on the apron. A lot of strong hits on this match. Very cool. Needless to say, Pete Dunne is now the new United Kingdom champion. It's very cool to see that, how far they're gonna take the United Kingdom Championship. Be surprised if in another 10 years or less they're gonna do a Germany thing. Because I don't know why they picked the UK to do that kind of stuff in their own way. But WWE tends to do that now. I'm not surprised with all the Japanese talent that's coming over to NXT. Then we get the three-way women match. We have Asuka versus Riott versus Nicky Cross. And it's, again, it was a really good match. Very creative, especially the end. Of course, Asuka retained in the unique fashion of pinning both Riott and Nicky Cross. So that was interesting. I think Nicky Cross is probably one of my favorite female wrestlers right now. I like the way she's wild, very unique. in her own right. It would be a shame to see what happens when she goes on the main roster. A lot of these wrestlers are, and I don't know what would happen if they were on the main roster. Because you get, I'll get to that later. Yeah, fuck it. Shinsuke Nakamura, the King of Strong Style, is on SmackDown now as the artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura. Somewhere, I think, Prince is thrown up in his grave. We have the main event. Well, what could have been the main event. Bobby Roode versus Hideo Itami or Kenta Kobashi, however you want to call it. This was a pretty cool match. Again, there was a lot of interesting things, I think Kenta got hurt somehow, but he tried to go and win against Bobby Roode. But to no avail, Bobby Roode picks up the win and is still the champion. So, is this feud gonna continue? I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting to see because, like I said before, I don't think Kenta really needed to come back and win the championship right away. It just didn't seem right. So they did the right move. And now I can't wait to see if they continue this feud or not. Then we have the main event, which was the ladder match for the NXT Tag Team Championship. Authors of Pain versus DIY, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Now, I missed this match. I'm gonna be quite honest with you, I missed this match. Because my fucking DVR cut it out after Authors of Pain entered. So, I caught the end of it. Obviously, Authors of Pain retained the belts and an interesting turn of events. And to no one's surprise, at least not to my surprise, I wasn't surprised at all, actually. Yeah. A heel turn for Tommaso Ciampa. And it finally happened. Shouldn't have been surprised because I was surprised when he came in with Johnny Gargano as a face. I'm like, they took a guy from Ring of Honor, the Sicilian Assassin, Tommaso Ciampa, and they made him a face and put him in a tag team. It didn't seem right, but they finally gave him that opportunity now. And I think he's going to go very well with that. And then we had Backlash. So NXT was, all in all, NXT TakeOver Chicago was pretty good. I think that the right people had won. I think that there was no surprise with the heel turn of Tommaso Ciampa. I can't wait to see how this feud's gonna go. But then we head to Backlash, and we had the pre-show with Ty Dillinger and Aiden English. I haven't seen Aiden in English in a while, of course, and him and Simon Gotch broke up, or split up, and now Aiden English is doing his own thing, which I think is fine. Anyways, this was a good match. Ty Dillinger picked up the win. Aiden English cried, which I guess is a new gimmick. Then we get to the pay-per-view. We have Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler. This is Shinsuke's first match on SmackDown. Now, if you're from the U.S., you're not going to get NXT, so I'm assuming that all of the United States doesn't get you NXT, um, unlike Canada and England. So you have people who are seeing Shinsuke for the first time. And then so he comes out not to any violence or anything, but he does his regular routine with the ropes, and then the yell thing where he does this, and the match is gonna begin. And it was a very close call. You almost thought that Dolph Ziggler was gonna pick up the win. He hurting Shinsuke Nakamura's neck. There was a lot of that kind of stuff where you almost think that Dolph Ziggler is gonna be the winner, but then Shinsuke pulls off the win with a Bumbaye / Kinshasa, and there you go. So this was a good match. This was pretty cool. I'd like to see, especially the nod to Shawn Michaels when Dolph Ziggler was going to try to do the Sweet Chin music. And I obviously said in the preview show that I think that Dolph Ziggler is a big fan of Shawn Michaels, which really showed there. Well, it was good. I can't wait to see what else they do with Shinsuke Nakamura at this point. It should be fun. It should be cool. And then we get a tag team championship match. The Usos, who defeated Breezango. This was a close call. One thing that a WWE does is they'll have the serious moments, obviously. But what they do is they take it. They can be really silly at a lot of points, and this is kind of what happened with this match. You had the vignette on SmackDown last week with Breezango and, of course, Tyler Breeze putting on the disguise. This kind of happened, obviously. Well, it did happen. They came out, Tyler Breeze had his security guard thing on, and he brought the broom in the ring, basically fooling around and stuff. And then, of course, you got Fandango, who was in the match, went for a tagged in Tyler, who came in the ring as an older woman. Now, I didn't see him change, but he had the blue dress on and the hair and the wig, So, it was definitely silly. If you're not into that, then you probably didn't like it and thought it was a piece of shit, but it was an interesting match. It was also went over, which is great. I don't know. I eventually want to see Breezango win the titles, but at this point in time, it doesn't seem like they're ready right now. I don't know. And then there is a 6-women tag team match. You have the Welcoming Committee, Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina, who was introduced by Franklin the Turtle, dressed up as Vanilla Ice, or whatever. Yeah. Anyways, they came out, and then of course we have Charlotte, who's now Charlotte Flair. And they've been calling her Charlotte Flair for a while. I just call her Charlotte. I mean, motherfucking not, but now that she's a face, they actually have on a Titantron Charlotte Flair, which is, well, it is what it is, I guess. No, Charlotte Flair, Naomi, and Becky Lynch, and it was a pretty good match, but you have Natalya submitting Becky Lynch with the sharpshooter, which I'm not a big fan of Natalya at all, but it was pretty interesting to see that. So, who knows what's going to happen now. Since Charlotte Flair is a face, I wonder what that means for the title picture. Who's gonna go for the SmackDown Championship now? Because Naomi's the women's champion. So that'll be interesting. Then we get the Kevin. Well, yeah, he's in this match. The United States Championship with Kevin Owens, the U.S. champion, and AJ Styles. Now, I basically gave it away if you haven't seen it yet. But Kevin Owens retained by countout. So this is the thing. I always say that I fucking hate disqualifications. Now, the thing about countouts is, to me, disqualifications are stupid. Double countouts are stupid. But the fact of the matter is, if some person is entering and the referee's counting, and there was another wrestler going into the ring, and so the wrestler that's outside will get counted out, meaning this person's gonna win. So there is a winner, you know, instead of, oh, he hit somebody over the belt or over the head with something. Now he's gonna lose, which means this person retains. I don't know. It's kind of weird how my mind works, but I don't really mind countouts that much. Anyways, it was a good match too. Kevin Owens won. You know, it's probably fine because they're still going with the face of America shit. So there it is. Then we have Luke Harper versus Eric Rowan. Nothing special about this match. It was pretty cool, but it was, we've seen it before. Uh, Luke Harper went over, which I thought was cool. So they really are pushing Luke Harper as a singles wrestler, a face at that. So it would be cool to see him go for, maybe the U.S. title. Yeah, I think that would be interesting. Put him in the United States Championship, uh, going up against Kevin Owens. Why the fuck not? Do something with Eric. Eric Rowan or Luke Harper. Eric Rowan, fine. They'll have to do something else with him. They keep putting him in the sheet masks and making him not speak as much, and that's all fine and everything, but he needs to get a better push. At least Luke Harper had a championship with the Intercontinental title. So let's put Eric Rowan in a match, where it actually means something, I guess. And then we got to the main event, which is for the WWE Championship. We got Jinder Mahal with the Singh brothers defeating Randy Orton. So I said in a few of my videos that you've already ruined the image of having Jinder Mahal steal the title, and that means I don't want to see him as the champion anymore. There's no use for it. Well, apparently there is, because this match was interesting. Now, there was a botch. I believe that something happened. One of the Singh brothers got slammed on the table by Randy Orton, and then Randy Orton picked him up again and did some kind of thing to him that really shook Randy Orton up, because he realized that he had fucked up. So I don't know if there's going to be a fine coming out of it, but yeah. And then, like I said, I'm not a fan of Randy Orton either, but the fact of the matter is, Randy Orton got distracted by the Singh brothers. whatever submission move that is. Uh, Jinder Mahal put him in there and did the win. There it is. And you know, reading the colors, you know, it's just like interesting because I said there's a chance they're gonna strip the title from Jinder Mahal because of steroid use. I mean, yeah, he does look like he's jacked up and you can see his veins, all that kind of stuff. Which, if they knew that before, why would they fucking put him in a match with Randy Orton for the WWE title? I don't get that. So, we'll have to wait for SmackDown because don't know what's going to happen there. I don't know why they would suspend him now. That would be a waste of fucking time. But there's a big chance that Rusev is coming back, so if that's the case, they'll probably have a match and put Rusev somewhere. Oh shit. I forgot. Baron Corbin versus Sami Zayn. Wow. Like I said before, you know, I don't hate Sami Zayn. There's a lot more wrestlers that I don't care for. But here's a guy who is talking a talk and has walked the walk, or has not walked the walk. Only recently has he won a couple matches. But he is on SmackDown, so it's interesting to see how it's going to turn out. But this match is really surprising. I mean, with the end of days and a power bomb, somehow Sami Zayn, who was hurt to begin with in the match, pulled it off, beating Baron Corbin. Who knew? That's... So, yeah, there could be a shot, after all, for Sami Zayn, and that would be interesting, yeah. Hopefully it's not a one-time thing for him, but NXT and Backlash were pretty fucking cool. And I guess, I don't know, I guess Raw has to follow that with Extreme Rules. That'll be fun. We're gonna go Extreme. Fantastic. Anyways, I probably botched this a lot. Who knows? I'll talk to you later. Bye.